In his response to the 11 questions, the Rebbe in the SICHAH makes one key point regarding the nation as a whole and their involvement with KORACH and the 250 people who joined him. That point is that the nation were dragged into the conflict without fully understanding the consequences and ramifications of their participation. This thesis can be seen in Rashi's commentary to an earlier pasuk, in which we are told that Vayakel aleihem Korach et kol ha'eda el petach ohel moed. One option, though incorrect, is that the kol ha'eda is the subject, that the entire congregation assembled el petach ohel moed. On account of the structure of the pasuk, we are forced to reject this option in favor of an interpretation that makes Korach the subject of the verb vayakel, and what we have here is that Korach assembled et kol ha'eda, the entire congregation aleihem, against Moshe and Aaron, el petach ohel moed. Had the subject of vayakel been kol ha'eda, then we could read that the Eda here refers to the group of 250 people that joined Korach, Datan and Aviram. Now that Korach is the subject, the definition of kol ha'eda refers to the nation as a whole, not just the group of 250. Rashi, borrowing from the Medrash Tanchuma once again, writes the following: Halach etzel hashvatim. Korach addressed all the tribes. Upite otam. Pei taf hei, to persuade, to entice, to seduce verbally. He convinced them all to join him and show support in his campaign against Moshe and Aaron. He argued that he was not battling for personal gain, but rather railing against a corrupt leadership. Ksvurim atem, Rashi writes, Sha'alai levadi ani makpid. You might think that this is a personal vendetta against Moshe and Aaron. Eini makpid, ela bishvil kulchem. I am mounting this campaign for the benefit of the entire nation, for all of you, because elu ba'in v'notlim kol hagadulot. These two, Moshe and Aaron, have made a power grab to serve their own needs. Lo hamalchut, political leadership, rests with him, Moshe. Ula'achiv hakahuna, religious leadership, is in the control of his brother. Ad shenit patu kulam, until eventually he was able to convince, to seduce, to persuade the entire nation to come out in support of him. Which would suggest that from the standpoint of Rashi, the nation as a whole were dragged unwillingly into this conflict, and were it not for the pitui, the persuasive arguments of Korach, would not have assembled at the Petach Ohel Moed.